never trust a DoorDash support rep. They can misinform or straight up lie to you and get away with it, and you get screwed for believing their BS. Here's my story. In August, I got an order from a local Chipotle. When I arrived, I found the restaurant closed when it should be open. There was nobody in the restaurant. No notice either. So I reported the restaurant closed and waited in the parking lot. The next order was from that Chipotle, same Chipotle. Again, I reported the restaurant closed. The next one was from the same Chipotle again. I got wary and called DoorDash support. I asked the rep, I asked the rep why I kept receiving orders from that restaurant after I reported it closed. He answered in a bunch of gibberish that made absolutely no sense. I got impatient and asked him what would happen to me if I reported the restaurant closed multiple times. He said I would be fine. Nothing would happen. I'm sure you can see where this is going, guys. Hold on, let me just adjust that. So I ended the conversation and drove away from the restaurant. Later that day, I came back to that Chipotle and saw some employees coming to work. I asked them why the restaurant closed in the morning. They said someone in the morning crew got COVID and the rest didn't want to come. The management couldn't find substitutes, so they had to close the place until evening crew came. The place went back to normal. On Monday the next week, I checked my email as usual and I got a deactivation email. Check me and got a deactivation email citing the reason being repeatedly reporting the restaurant closed when the restaurant was in fact open. I got livid. I immediately filed an appeal, telling what happened, and clearly stated this was a wrongful deactivation and demanded reactivation, and rightfully so. Absolutely. Then I called DoorDash support, demanding them to explain why I got deactivated for reporting the restaurant closed. This rep said that the restaurant didn't report themselves closed at that time, so the system still saw the restaurant as open as usual. That the restaurant has to report themselves closed for the system to recognize them as closed. The previous rep didn't tell me this. I was screwed by a misinforming rep. I was livid and demanded to talk to the investigation team. The rep said nobody could talk to them on phone and I had to wait for their email response. At that point, all I could do was wait. Luckily, my side of the story made a strong enough case for reactivation. Lesson learned. Never trust a DoorDash rep. If something doesn't feel right, demand to talk to a manager. Don't waste your time talking to a rep. Wow. I'm telling you, man, just when you think it's safe to go back in the water. What movie was that from? No. Just when you think DoorDash has done the worst, they always find some way to top themselves. Now, there were many variables in this particular situation. And I'm very sorry that Rogue Investor had to deal with this. But wow, they did nothing wrong and got deactivated for it. All because somebody got COVID at Chipotle. They had to temporarily shut down, which is why they never alerted DoorDash that they were closed, because technically they were only partially closed for half the day. That's incredibly frustrating. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, I wanted to know if anybody out there has experienced anything like this. In the chat or in the comments, have you heard of this happening? Has this happened to you or someone you know? Let me know down below, because that is something else, man. In my opinion, this is like some new deactivation policy here, because reporting the restaurant closed when they're actually closed, but DoorDash didn't know that they were temporarily closed. So the Dasher did everything correct. The only thing I would have told this guy is drive to another location, to another hot zone, so you don't keep getting those Chipotle orders, you know? But it is what it is. I'm glad he got reactivated, but no Dasher should have to deal with that kind of crap.